Art has fundamentally changed the way I and many others look at the world. It shapes how we see the world when we grow up, whether it's shapes or colors on TV or drawing with a marker on a piece of paper as a baby. Art is always in our life. Art is a form of expression, and we take in this expression at all ages. Because we grow up in art and it surrounds our daily lives, the question is how important it is, and can art change the way we see the world fundamentally? Sorry to disappoint, but in the practice of struggle against higher powers, art will not change the world. But nothing by itself does change the world. There is not going to be a magical painting or a film that creates world peace. Change is built upon several different factors, and art is one of them. How each of us view art is what will determine the outcome of the art. If art is viewed as purely for aesthetic reasons, like it commonly was before the avant-garde movement in the early 1800s, then it has no material benefit for our society. The avant-garde movement is vital in learning about the relationship between art and society. According to this vision, works of art should not purely be object, but ingrained into the fabric of the real world and real-life political situations that shape people's lives. Art can be discussed forever, but what even is art? According to the Oxford Dictionary, art is the expression or application of human creative skills and imagination, typically in a visual form such as a painting or a sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. Primarily for their beauty or emotional power feels like an alienated definition of art. Of course, art is meant to ignite emotional attachment. Scientifically, this is how the brain does read it. But should art not go beyond just an appreciation? When you cry during a profound film or stare at a painting for an extended period of time, you're putting yourself in the artist's place and looking deep within yourself. For example, in the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when Cameron, or the person wearing a Red Wings jersey, stares at a painting, he is not just appreciating, but attaching himself and his experiences with the objects in the painting. Art is something that erects an effect on us. This can either be a masterfully refined painting or just sends in an email. The language of art knows no boundaries. Art does not even have to be physical either. It can be how we communicate ideas with someone or the way you avoid your boss at work. Yes, that is an art, and it may not be on display for everyone, but it's still a process. Not all art is going to change our lives or even be noticed by anyone, but if it is involved in the human process, then it can be art. It does not matter what art is about. This may be a hard idea to free ourselves of, but it's essential if art is to have a powerful influence in the way we understand the world. I refer back to the example of Ferris Bueller. The movie does not stop and tell us the meaning of the painting or his relationship with Cameron. It simply shows us the reaction and understanding he has of the art and its audience itself. It's hard not to get caught up in trying to find the theme that drives the work of art, but that is not how it will reach a mass audience or connect with them. By seeing art as only something to study, it shrinks the art and the artist itself. If all we care about is discussing the themes, then why do we engage with art in the first place? The viewer's role is not to fetishize the object, but to take with it something that can actually employ change. This philosophy, which is much broader than I briefly explained, is what drove the avant-garde movement, especially in the 60s when art was trying to be a part of everyday life's process. It was trying to be a part of a wider revolutionary act that never came to be, but lives with us to this day. There are many examples of art having a widespread effect on the masses of people and helping to ignite changes in our society. Some very beneficial and some not very beneficial or detrimental. Songs that became protest anthems such as Bob Dylan's Blowing in the Wind, Masters of War, or Times They Are Changing struck a chord with people and were able to reach mass audiences. The songs came out during the heat of the Civil Rights Movement and the Vietnam War. Of course, these songs weren't the reason for the anti-war efforts or civil rights movements, but they were part of a history of these movements that will not ever be erased. A negative use of art to inspire change was in Nazi Germany. Filmmaker Leni Riefenstahl and was tasked to use her capabilities as a filmmaker to create the film Triumph of the Will. This was a very effective piece of Nazi propaganda film that showcases Adolf Hitler at the 1934 Nuremberg rally. The film captures the subjects with great stature and might, which helped provide their goodwill and backing for the Nazi Party. Another film that used art negatively was D.W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation, which portrayed black people, especially the men, as ruthless rapists and invoked a new wave of the KKK party. The film was played at the White House and was extremely popular when it was released in 1915. A positive example, but dark, again, was Billy Wilder's Death Mills, which is a short but harrowing documentary that shows footage of the concentration camps. It was shown for the Nuremberg Committee after World War II and was a big reason that certain Nazi officials were sentenced and punished for their crimes. The examples provided show that art itself will not incite change, but when used at the right time and with the right care, it can help to have a drastic effect on audiences for better or for worse. Propaganda can be flipped for either outcome depending how effective it is. Art is indeed important whether we know it or not. It has transformed over centuries, and the ideas and conditions it exists in have dramatically changed as well. But the art will last the test of time and be used in ways that we do not even know exist in the future.